swear this thing runs so quiet when it's on oil. If I run it on diesel, I mean, the thing's like 10 times louder. You can see, you get a couple different light angles on it. There's hardly any haze coming out. You get a little bit when you cold start it, but as soon as that engine warms up, it's clean as can be. How's it going, y'all? It's been a couple years since I did my first video, which I'll put that up here in the link, of trying out waste oil in my old gray Mercedes OM617. So I've been running that. I think that was about 3 years ago I did that video, but I've been running that basically non-stop for the past 3 years. Ran a little bit of vegetable oil, motor oil, hydraulic oil, which is in that tote right there. So I've kind of refined the way I filter it down a little bit. There at that time that I made that video, I had just been using a filter cart, which I think went down to like 10 microns, which isn't nearly enough. So I wanted to show you guys the process that I use now. I've had very good luck with running single tank in that Mercedes. So in my original video, I had tried this out in a non-turboed 78 Benz. This one right here, if you're curious about it, I actually did a 2-video series on this car, putting it together. It used to be a gas-powered M110. This is a 230E. I ended up putting a turbo diesel in it, and I've been driving that for the almost three years now. I drove the gray one for about 6 months, but the rot was just getting way too bad on that gray one. So it's parked. I robbed a couple parts out of it to do the engine swap on that one back there. But anyways, back on topic. I've driven about 38,000 miles now. I'll have to double check, but about 38,000 miles on that car. Just waste motor oil. I have to, in the winter time, because I'm still running a single tank, it does not like to start on straight motor oil or hydraulic oil when it's below 40 degrees out. Even with the block plugged in, it just doesn't want to do it. So in the winter time, I'm running mostly diesel, but I don't drive that car a whole lot in the winter time, so it's mainly been waste oil miles put on that car. So the proper way to do this oil is to have a single tank, double tank, and you start it up on diesel. Once the engine is warm, then you switch it over to the waste oil, and also centrifuge it instead of filtering it. But this is the method I've used. I've just filtered it. Like I said, almost 40,000 miles now. I haven't had any problems. About every 1,500 to 2,000 miles or so, I have to pull out the injectors. But on those engines, they're really easy to do. I just clean the injector tips, put them back in, and we're good to go. They coke up a little bit. So I found this company. It's called US Plastics, and they sell filter bags. Oh, I'm at her. But anyways, what is that? Oh, Christ is the answer. Interesting. Anyways, the company's US Plastics, and this right here, so if I can get it straight where you can see it, this right here is the part numbers and the all the info to order these bags. So I have a 1 micron, 5 micron, and 50 micron. And I'll show you what I do with those. I don't run the oil through it 3 times. I just do it single pass. So I'll show you how to do that. Just for size comparison, this is what the filter bag looks like. And it's almost as tall as the tote. I think these are number 3, or I don't know. If you want to try this, just use those order numbers that I showed you. I forget what this actual size is, but this is the 2 micron bag right here. You can see it's made out of like a polyester material. This one is pretty fine. The 50 micron's a little bit, you know, you can see a little bit more light through it, but this is like really dense, and then the 1 micron is like, I don't know how anything gets through it, but it does, but it's like really dense. Actually, this batch of oil right here is hydraulic oil from a factory. The same factory I was getting the oil out of in my first video. I don't work there anymore, but they still let me know whenever they need any hydraulic oil removed, and they just give it to me. So it's 150 gallons I got for free. And you know, it's kind of hard to tell on camera, but this is really clean oil. Sometimes, I mean, the most contamination is really in it. Oh, you can see that little white thing floating in there. That's really the only contamination that you get in this oil. It's just sometimes you get a little bit of some resin pellets floating around in there, but that filters right out, and I really like burning this oil. Actually taking the Mercedes up to New York, upstate. And from here in northern Indiana, it's about 725 miles. I have a 17-gallon fuel tank built into the car. So according to the mileage I've been getting, I need to bring about 28 gallons with me to get me up there for free. And then my friend up there who's getting married has enough oil to get me back, and I'll bring my filter equipment and everything like that, so I'm just dumping straight motor oil in. But yeah, so I'm gonna get these filters put together, and then I will show you how that kind of looks when it's done. This is what you want it to look like when you're done with it. So the 50 micron is right up here. You stick that on your arm, and you slide the 2 micron over that one, and then you slide the 1 micron over the 2 micron. So that way the oil goes to the 50 first, catches any larger particulate, steps down to the 2 micron, gets a lot of the smaller particulate, and then 1 micron, I mean, that's like 1/10 of the size of a human hair. Anything 1 micron that gets through this filter, or technically it'd be less than a micron that gets through that filter, I mean, that's not going to clog anything up. So let me show you my pump next. This is the pump I use now. It's a GPI barrel pump. I use this to filter the oil, and when I'm done, I clean it. You know, there's a screen in here, flush the whole thing out really good, and then I'll put it into the barrels I use to actually transfer it directly into the car. Believe this pump retails about $500-600. I was lucky enough to find this brand new on eBay for like $350-400. Use this pump all the time, love it. It's a very well built pump. It's got a screen right in here, just keep any large debris from entering into the pump. It's got a pressure relief in it, so you know you can close the valve while the pump's running, and it'll just kind of bypass. Yeah, like I said, really good pump. I really love it. I think it's like 5 gallons a minute too. It moves oil decently quick. So fill up a barrel. It takes about 10 minutes, but not bad. Now I usually use hose clamps, but I cannot find hose clamp today. So I took some zip ties. I stuck the hose into there. I cut the ball valve on the end just so it kind of, you know, pushes up against that ball valve and keeps the hose from possibly sliding out. But I use some big old pliers and crank these zip ties down just about where they're gonna break, and it hoses in there getting tight. So I don't think we're gonna leak past it any. So basically all I do from here is I shove this filter down in the hole. I already got my pump up in that tote, and we're gonna get that all pumped out and run through the filter, and yeah, I will be right back. So this is about 3 minutes in. You can see it's kind of slow going, but I'd rather it go slow and not push that oil through the filter too violently, if you know what I mean. So, plus it's a beautiful day out. I mean, don't mind the overgrown mess of my backyard, but beautiful, beautiful day out. Now that we got that tote emptied out, I'm pulling. I left about 25 gallons in here. It's kind of my rule of thumb, is I leave 25 gallons in the bottom, and then I'll drain that out, put it in a separate barrel. I have a guy with a centrifuge who takes this stuff. But just any water or gunk that might be in here is most likely in those few inches. And yeah, because that filtrant like that does not get any of the water out. And even in this clean oil tote right here, I'm still going to do the same thing, only pull down to the last 25 gallons just in case there's any water that did get in here. This is a nice clean food grade tote. I really like using these. And then also, I like using these galvanized steel drums. This is what I pump out of that tote into. And that goes directly in the car. But I like these galvanized food grade barrels. This one actually had peppermint oil in it. And it's like literally all the fuel that comes out of this barrel smells like peppermint. So it's kind of an interesting thing. But yeah, try to get galvanized barrels if you can for storage, just because, you know, they're rust resistant, and I just think they just look a lot nicer and cleaner. Just thought I should mention too, since I use the same pump to fill clean oil into my car, I take it out of the dirty oil tote, put it in the clean oil, clean the screen out really good on that pump, and run a few gallons through it just to flush any residual dirty oil out. So note too, yeah, like I said, I still leave about 25 gallons in the bottom of the clean oil tote just in case there's any water left in there. And then same thing with the 55 gallon drum. I pull a couple inches above the bottom on that. So what's my takeaway from almost 40,000 miles of running a Mercedes OM617 on a single tank? I kind of low budget, so I do have a double tank system in the works coming up soon. I will say that when I put that engine in that car, it had quite a bit of blow-by, and I did a compression test on it. It's all in the low 200s. Minimum spec for that engine is 200 psi. So that engine is getting tired. I didn't have that coking problem when I was driving the non-turbo, the gray Mercedes, and that engine was really tight, no blow-by at all. So I don't know if the blow-by has anything to do with the injector coking. I'm basically going to run this engine that's in the red car right now till it pukes, and then I'm going to take that non-turboed engine from the gray car, and I might put a turbo and the turbo injection pump on that block, but that engine's going to go in that car regardless, and I guess I'll see if that problem persists once we're back to the old engine block that I started out with. But yeah, no, I mean, and the beautiful thing too about the OM617s is those injectors are so easy to get out. I can have them out, cleaned, and put back in less than an hour. I mean, I've done it enough times. It's kind of second nature now. But that aside, just the tremendous. I'm gonna calculate real quick how much money I've saved the last 40,000 miles of driving this car. Right, so with this engine being tired, I'm gonna start with approximately 40,000 miles. So with this engine being tired and running on waste motor oil, I'm average about 16-17 miles a gallon. So divided by 16 is It's 2,500 gallons of fuel that I ran through that car. So now, diesel here in northern Indiana right now is $4, or yeah, about $4 average. It fluctuates between $3.90 something and $4. So times 4, $10,000 I have saved in this car. Holy cow. $10,000 that I would have spent buying diesel, running this car all over the way I have. I've taken this car from northern Indiana down to Mammoth Caves, lots and lots of trips down to Terre Haute. That's where the in-laws live. It's about 3.5 hours each way. Been to northern Michigan, upstate New York a couple of times now. Yeah, I mean, all over the place. So I would say the injector's coking every 1,000 or so miles. I buy 2 sets of those filter bags every year. I probably could clean them and reuse them. I just don't want to. For those 3 filters, with shipping and tax, it's like $50. And yeah. So all the naysayers, especially the Mercedes purists, oh my gosh, they're like, oh, don't put waste motor oil in your car, you're going to ruin it, it's a classic. Shut up. Unless you got $10,000 you can give me, I will run diesel in that all day, but it's not a perfect way of doing it, but like I said, it saved me 10 grand. And those injectors that are in there, as far as I know, they're original injectors. I had put some Bosch India injectors in it late last year, and right before I went to my last trip to New York. And by the time I got up to New York, I mean, the thing was just running like crap. But yeah, those were Indian-made Bosch injectors. So I just put the original ones back in it, and it ran better. As far as I know, those are the original injectors. So original injectors, 300-some thousand miles on the engine. Waste motor oil. It hasn't hurt the injectors or the pump. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. Hopefully I can be of help to someone, save them some money. Don't get caught by the DOT, man. I know some states are a little bit iffy on that. I mean, technically you're supposed to pay road tax here in Indiana, but it's a car. DOT man's not gonna stop me and ask to dip my tank, so haven't any trouble yet. But as always, you could drop a like and subscribe. I'm gonna try and start uploading some more videos, just random projects I have going on. Got old truck, old car, old tractor, just all sorts of. I thought about doing, trying out some like different fuels, like really fucking weird fuels in the Mercedes, see how it runs and do some mileage tests. But yeah, God bless y'all.